Hello malt mates, welcome to The Whisky Bothy. I'm Ralphie, your host, and I've just completed a review of this Signatory 100 proof 11-year-old Mortlach in review number 1066. You are now entering the maltosphere of review number 1066 extras, in which I give extra content, extra perspective, extra opinion and extra information to help you get your bearings as an experienced whisky drinker who's spending your hard-earned and taxed money on decent stuff so as to make life a bit more pleasurable. So I gave this whisky in my malt marks 84 out of 100. Very well earned. I'm sure there's plenty of folk out there would probably give it 85. Some people would love to see it get marked 90 out of 100. But the problem with that is that as soon as you do that, some retailers feel entitled to jack the price up simply because I got a high mark on an internet review, which is of the wrong spirit of things. No pun intended, but there you have it. And I just want to talk a little bit about this thing that is the Signatory Vintage 100 proof. There was no big announcement. There was the nominal standard release of information and samples to the retailers saying we've got a new line here. Would you like to stock it? Would you like to sell it? And what really caught everybody's eye, the retailers and the customers, is how reasonable the prices are on this range, the 100 proof range from Signatory Vintage. This is a rolling release. It's what they call a rolling release, and it means that basically they'll release a dozen different bottlings from different distilleries, and then as they begin to sell, they'll release maybe a dozen more over the space of several months. And it didn't take long for the internet, because that's what the internet is good at doing, at picking up on the price that's being asked for these bottlings. I paid £45 for this. Many of the 100 proof bottlings are around £45 to £50, and they represent, in the scheme of things, very, very good value. And in my opinion, and I discussed this in my Patreon channel with subscribers, the only way that Signatory can do this is because of long-standing contracts with the whisky industry where they can buy casks at a discounted rate. Because at that price, with the crazy excessive amount of taxation duty and value-added tax on alcohol, they wouldn't be making any profit if they were paying standard prices to buy the casks. Like when buying a cask, I'm looking at several £1,000s. But I don't think Signatory are paying several £1,000, otherwise they couldn't afford to do this. But I doubt very much whether they're making much profit. But it's been such an interesting range. Here's another bottling from the range that I bought out of curiosity. I opened it. It's probably one of the roughest, actually. It needs oxidisation. It needs a damn good shake. But it's their bottling of Macallan. They call it Speyside, in brackets M, 2011, 13-year-old M for Macallan. Bottled at 57.1% because it's 100 British proof. And along with the 100 proof, they brought out another series called the Exceptional Cask. Now here's an example of Exceptional Cask, which I've bought, but I'm not opening it at the moment. I'll open it later on. This is a 16-year-old Glenlivet Speyside GL, which means Glenlivet. All matured in sherry casks. And from the feedback I've already got from my Patreon subscribers, it's an absolute banger. It's a belter of a whisky. So I've been buying a few other bottles because, hey, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. So why are Signatory doing this? I'm going to give you a perspective. Bear with me. Independent bottlers don't advertise. Official bottlers and distilleries spend a fortune on advertising and a fortune on marketing. Marketing is very expensive, and increasingly as time goes on, it's delivering less and less returns because everybody's migrating away from legacy medias like magazines and televisions and posters in airports. People ignore posters in airports now. They're irrelevant. They're just art displays, really. And people are going online. That's people's primary source of information now. And so an awful lot of money, big bucks, spent in marketing is just wasted. Not only that, you have a very well rewarded marketing team who will find it in their interests to undermine the quality of what's bottled in order to make their jobs more needed. And I know it sounds harsh, I know it sounds cynical, but it's damn well true. And we all know that. Independent bottlers, they don't have marketing budgets. They've got one person that coordinates the lot. They don't have a lot of staff. They have people in warehouses that know how to look after casks. They have people in the office that coordinate the bottlings, deal with the retailers, and that, frankly, is just about it. Independent bottlers, unless they actually own distilleries themselves, they're not paying the capital costs for actually producing the product. They're paying to get decent casks if necessary, buy the liquor from the distillers, cask it themselves, or send casks to the distillery to get filled, or the warehouse to get filled. And basically they're just taking control of presentation, but without advertising, without marketing. And they're looking at the internet, and the most critical marketing tool is accessing social media and being part of the conversation. And that's exactly what's happened for Signatory. Now, Signatory already are a well-known brand. They are 3 times consecutive winners at the online Scotch Whisky Awards. That's oswa.co.uk. Just do a Google search or follow the link down below. Signatory have won 3 times because of the continued quality of what they bottle, which is primarily down to decent casks, give it some time, and don't chill filter it and add colourant. Always a sign that a whisky's being diminished. So they're giving us whisky as it should be, basically from the cask, raw, unpasteurised. We appreciate that, informed whisky buyers. And we weren't planning to buy much in January and February and March, because these are the 3 quietest years of the month for buying whisky. But Signatory have changed that, because they've released these bottlings, this range of bottlings. I mean, this was, £75? This phenomenally good value, seriously good value. Excuse me, this bottle's squint because it's in a barrel and the barrel's not flat. Just so as you know, that's better. That looks a bit more tidy. So what are they doing? They're sacrificing profit for absolutely pinpoint targeted marketing. They're marketing themselves in the most fundamental, basic and successful way any distillery company these days can do it. They're putting out great whisky at great prices. And that's it. No song and dance, no massive press release, no big event at the castle, invite along the influencers and give them a free bag of goodies and then offer a helicopter trip round the estate. None of that nonsense and absurdity. None of that fakery. That's just not relevant these days. Even though many companies out there still try and engage in that and waste their money doing so. And it is a waste of money. At a moment in time when we have some distilleries still trying to justify crazy high prices for a special finished teenage whisky, single malt, which isn't anything particularly special, frankly. Here you have Signatory remaining mute and letting the price and the label carry the conversation for them, and you and I are listening very attentively, very closely, and yes, we're buying this. I've bought 7 of these bottlings. They're all bangers. Even the Macallan I found very revealing because it's a hot liquor. This has been a hasty distillation at Macallan because that's what it tastes like to me. But it's still got that substance and that fullness of flavour that Macallan used to be famous for. It's still got it. It just needs plenty of oxidisation, a good shake, leave the cork off, leave it off for a couple of days. Just let the thing settle down, open up, oxidise and lose its little bit of bad temper. Then things are fine. But there are other bottlings out there which I've been discussing with my Patreon subscribers and we've just been, it's not as if I'm telling them what I think's best. This is a round conversation going on. This is an exchange of information and conversation in which I am buying whiskies based on the reviews of my subscribers. And this is really where the whole Scotch, well, all the whisky, quality spirits, online activity goes next. It becomes more communal, increasingly communal and collective. Because the best reference you'll get for whether any whisky's worth buying is the consensus of positive opinion from people who have bought the product. People who are disappointed will tell you. People who are delighted will tell you. Information gets shared willingly because those who bought the bottle, if they want to buy another bottle or 2 before it sells out, they go and do so before they discuss it publicly. Win, win, win. And there you have it. It's a sign of the times. And do you know, the cherry on top of the cake here, you'll love this. Another independent bottler was not pleased about the fiercely competitive pricing that Signatory have put on their products. And they basically complained about it. The result was that independent bottler, and I'm not going to name them, then had the members of the online whisky community go and do price searches for their product at retailers and found that when Signatory are charging roughly £50 for a bottle of their whisky, their competitor is at times, depending on the retailer, charging twice that. Enough said. When independent bottlers, when any business sees a competitor stealing the limelight in a magnificent publicity scoop, if they've got nothing positive to add, they should just keep quiet. Otherwise, they are going to become part of the conversation for the wrong reasons. It's the way it goes. Thank you for watching. My final point is that wherever you are in the world, I hope you can get a bottle something similar to this. Signatory is not a small company, they're a big independent bottler, but they're bottling small batches in single casks. It's up to you. If you can't find Signatory, go into your specialist liquor shop and say, right, this is what I'm really looking for and this is what I really want to buy. What's your nearest alternative option? See what they've got in stock, see what they're prepared to stock, and then you make your purchasing decision from there. And good luck to you. Bye-bye.